let's talk about injuries and contingency plans. And I know what you're thinking, Brian. We do not listen to your channel to listen about workplace safety. We just don't do it. But I'll tell you what, this issue hits a little close to home because I'm gonna boot. I broke my foot. Crutch City. Although I am now down to the cane. But the reason I bring this up is because it's something everybody should think about, especially if you are a solo op. I broke my foot like 3 weeks ago on a Saturday during dinner. I still had to DJ the whole dance, tear down, get home. I had one day off, and then I had a Monday wedding. And that Monday wedding kicked off 6 days of 6 events. So, just to give you the backstory, so about 4 weeks ago, my back, well, maybe 5 weeks ago, my back started hurting. 4 weeks ago, my back really started hurting, and I was starting to get a little worried about, I know you're wondering why am I talking about my back. I started out with some severe back nerve pain. Like, so severe I could not get off my couch. I was on my couch and I had to go to the bathroom one day, and I was like, and I literally had to like straighten my body out, flop myself on the floor, and get up from there to go to the bathroom. Just about peed on my couch. No shit. But my back, it's the worst nerve pain I've had in my back. And I'm sure everybody in this industry knows what back pain feels like, right? We all have back pain. This is the absolute worst I ever had, though. And I was supposed to help Mobile Pro out with an event in Valley City. The day before, I showed up and I'm like, dude, look at me. I can hardly walk. I definitely can't lift anything. I was like, I'm going to the chiropractor. We'll see what they can do. And I went to one chiropractor, mind you. The first one, well, the guy I usually go to was closed. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So I looked up and found a guy that was a walk-in chiropractor. Never would recommend going to that guy. Blue Apple Chiropractic or Blue Apple Walk-In. I got a tingle treatment on my back. I didn't even get a crack. I got a tingle treatment, which was pointless. I left feeling just as bad as I did when I walked in. So then, luckily I got an appointment at a different chiropractor. He cracked me, got me feeling a little better. I mean, I was still tight as shit in my back, but at least my nerve pain was not as severe. Like, it was still there, but it was mostly caused by the inflammation, not, apparently I had some sort of like bulge in one of my lower back bones. I don't know exactly, but he popped that son of a bitch back in and I felt a lot better. But I bring this up because of the story of my foot. My back was feeling a little bit better. I went out and did the Valley City gig. I had a day off, went to the chiropractor again, got a little refresher crack, and then I had my wedding dance. Now, I was still icing my back like crazy. My back was feeling, quite a bit better. Like, I could pick stuff up and move, but I was being very careful, very slow. I was setting up at a VFW in Wadena, Minnesota, and they obviously don't have a whole lot of events. The stage was treated like a storage area, probably 15 tables stacked against the walls in the back of this corner stage. They had some bar mats stacked up on the front corner of the dance floor, like some thick rubber bar mats, probably a stack about that high. And I'm slowly setting up, and of course I trip over those mats maybe 4 or 5 times while setting up. And each time I'm like, oh, my back, goddamn, I gotta be careful here. And I wasn't gonna move them because they looked heavy, and I've been having back problems. Like, I barely wanted to set up. And anyways, I do the grand entrance, dinner comes. As dinner's kind of starting to wind down a little bit and we're getting closer to speeches, I need to go talk to the bride. I walk around my speakers, step down, and catch the edge of those rubber mats, roll my ankle over. I heard a crunch in my ankle, and I was on my knees. And I'm like, dear Lord, that hurt. No one noticed anything because it was abnormally dark in there. Like, that VFW shut off almost all the lights for dinner. Like, it was freaking dark. And just one little kid saw me, and all I hear from like across the whole reception hall is, "Are you okay?" And he just keeps repeating it over and over again. And me, I can't even spit out a word. I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." Oh, I was like, how am I going to do this dance if I can't even get off the floor? I eventually managed to get up on my feet and back onto the stage, and I sit on my tote. I use like a Craftsman tote that's to carry my stuff that's maybe not 3 feet high, but 28, 30 inches high. And I sat down on that, and I'm like, okay, I need ice. So I went and I hobbled my way over to the bar, and I was like, well, first of all, you guys really need to move those mats off the dance floor. I was like, I just rolled my ankle on them, and I need some ice, and they need to get moved before some old lady trips over and breaks a hip. I mean, should not be on dance floor. And what does the bar do? Nothing. I actually had to have the wedding party move them when I explained to them what happened to my ankle, and I'm like, still gonna do it. Don't worry, I'm not running away. But I'm gonna be icing my ankle the rest of the night, and I definitely will not be standing on it. But we will get through this together. And I think I did a pretty good job. I did, all the emceeing still just in a seated position. Obviously, my ankle hurt, but we got it done. Garter auction, just to seem a little bit more engaging. I gave the maid of honor my wireless mic. I was on the wired mic, and we were kind of bantering back and forth a little bit. So, I feel like everything still went smoothly. They knew what happened, and the end of the night came, and I shut down. Everybody left. The bar staff was gone like that, and I was left in a dark room to tear down. And I could hardly walk. So here I am with my cell phone flashlight, looking around for my gear. Like, I'm using like a chair as like a cane as I'm sliding it around with me. Obviously, like sitting down, wrapping cords. Just the loadout. I mean, eventually I had to like grab stuff, throw it on. Luckily, I had a rock and roller. Grab stuff on my rock and roller and walk it out, obviously, like, and lift into my vehicle and stuff. And that hurt. That hurt pretty bad. I tried to keep as much weight off it as I could. Driving home hurt. I could hardly press on the gas pedal. So this was Saturday. Ended up getting home. I'm like, I'm going straight to bed. Went straight to bed. Woke up. Slowly put my foot down on the floor, and I was like, oh no. I had Sunday off, obviously. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, did I sprain my ankle? I'm not quite sure. And I was like, I gotta go to the walk-in or something. Like, I'm not gonna go to the emergency room, but I should go to the walk-in. I go to the walk-in, and they're like, well, we only have a nurse on staff. X-rays are like an on-call person. So, if you want x-rays today, you should probably go to the main hospital. And I'm like, to the emergency room? I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying $1,000 for an emergency room visit. So I was like, I will wait till tomorrow. So I went home. Iced my ankle, sat on it, looked up what time we have an orthopedic walk-in in Fargo, so I was like, I will be there right at 8 a.m. when they open. I was there at 8 a.m. There was a shit ton of people there already before me, and I'm like, son of a bitch. But I got in there. They took their x-rays, and obviously my foot was broken. Technically, I have a Dancher's injury. I believe it's called a evolution fracture of the fifth metatarsal. Essentially, what that means is when I rolled my ankle, like a sprain would be where your tendons are stretched, ripped, or whatever, I think. But the doctor said, essentially, either your tendon gives out when you roll your ankle, or your bone gives out. So I've got really weak bones and really strong tendons, so my tendon yanked on my bone so hard, it ripped my bone apart. And it obviously hurts. It hurt. I had to be on crutches for a while. I can put weight on my foot now. The big thing is like the moving of my ankle. That's why I have to wear a boot, because if I move my ankle the wrong way and it pulls on that tendon, pulls on the tendon that's attached to the broken fragment of my bone that's trying to heal back to the other section. So that's why I'm still in a boot, and I'll just say my calf is like this, where my other one's like this. Like, 3 weeks, I've lost like all of my muscle definition in my calf. It's crazy. But it's feeling quite a bit better. I'm on my cane now. Like, I can't go shopping at Costco. Well, I can, but I have to ride the scooter. So I can walk, but I can't really walk long distances. So anyways, Monday morning I got my x-rays, had my threw the call out because I knew I had a lot of gigs coming up, and I'm like, who can help me? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have zero game plan for when this happens. Luckily, my Monday wedding, I had a friend and his wife help me. They own a wedding DJ business as well, so threw some cash their way, got that wedding taken care of. Tuesday, Wednesday, they still wanted me to work out in Dickinson. This was with Mobile Pro. They were nice enough to send somebody with me to basically be my arms and legs, and I just did the sound tech work. So that was really nice of them. Thursday, I was back in town doing sound for a press conference, and luckily my buddy Zach was able to come and help me with that as well. And then Friday, Zach helped me with the setup of a do-it-yourself DJ package for a groom's dinner. My buddy Anthony helped me tear it down that night. And then Saturday, I had another wedding, and my buddy Trevor came with and helped me set up, tear down, and I basically sat on a stool once again all night and DJ'd. Then I had Sunday off. Luckily, well, I think I did a couple Mobile Pro things that week, but they obviously knew I couldn't really lift anything. I was there mostly for sound tech work. I was still on my crutches, helped wrap cords and things like that. You know, I did what I could. So I got a little bit of work in there. I did have live sound for a festival booked that next Saturday. I had to give that gig to my buddy Andy, which kind of sucks because it was $1,500. Would have been really nice to make that money, especially since I was spending so much money getting people to help me do these gigs. But I went from having like what was going to be like my best 2 weeks of the summer making money to basically just shelling out half of what I made to people to help me out. So that kind of sucked. But and then I gave away that one gig to Andy. Luckily, that's the only gig I had to just straight up give away. I've done a few Mobile Pro gigs as well since then. Little, not really lifting or setting up, but a little bit more cord running and doing different things. This weekend, though, I've got a wedding Friday, a wedding Saturday, and I am going to try to do both of them myself. I did buy some EV Evolve 30s, lightweight little columns. Those are the speakers I'm going to use. Obviously, just a gig bar. I did buy a JBL Eon 1 compact because I'm doing their ceremony, and I wanted just a really easy, little lightweight speaker for the ceremony. I'll have my photo booth there. Hopefully, I don't have to haul a whole lot upstairs because it's in a barn, classic barn venue. I'm definitely going to be getting there early and just really take my time on things. But, you know, this is why I haven't made any videos lately. I thought with all my downtime and my foot hurting, I was like, man, I'm just going to knock out video after video. But it's so much work to just come in here and want to make a video when you can hardly walk around your place. I've literally just been on, any day I have off, I've been on my couch with my foot up. But, so that's the story of my injury, you know, injured at a gig. I still had to finish the gig, and then I had a crazy busy week, and I had to get it figured out. And, you know, even in Wadena, I was, you know, an hour and a half from Fargo. My mom and my brother did say they would come down and help me tear down if I needed them to, but I was like, you know, it's literally like a 30-minute tear down. I'd already made my DJ set up relatively compact and lightweight because my back was hurting. So I got lucky there that I did not have a big full-blown wedding show. I'd already done a little bit of downsizing, and that definitely helped me out there. But, you know, that's the question. What happens if you get injured? You know, I never really thought of it in the past because I was always, you know, a multi-op that had 4 or 5 different people that could go out on gigs. I was never the main guy that would go out on gigs. Usually I was scheduled myself as the fill-in guy. I'd have everybody else doing the gigs, and then if somebody got sick or something, I would go and do the fill-in work. So I never really thought, now post-COVID, I've really trimmed down. Like, I'm the primary guy that goes out. I'm not really trying to do the multi-op thing right now. I'm still keeping my advertising budget really, really small. I'm still operating out of my house. I do not have, I didn't get an office again, so I still don't have an office this summer. I've been kind of iffy, whether or not COVID's going to come back and everything's going to get shut down. So I've still been running things relatively slim and really only trying to book myself, which leaves me not having really any fill-in guys to fill in. I've got Chris, but he works a full-time job at a restaurant, so if I don't give him adequate notice, he'll be working a double on Saturday, and he can't, so he's already locked up. So I don't have people that are good last-minute people to go to that work for me, but luckily I have a good friend group that can help me out. So, the question is, that's my story of breaking my foot at a dance. In 2 weeks, I'll get my follow-up x-rays. Hopefully, I'll be out of this boot. I'm hoping I get some good notice, some good news, because this boot is really getting annoying, and I've got not only business stuff I need to get done, but I've got personal stuff I need to get done too. My kitchen sink was leaking. It rotted out the cupboard on the floor. I need to get down there. I need to cut some new wood, put some new wood in there. There's things I got to get done, and it's really hard to do all that stuff when you're in a boot. I feel like, anyways, especially when you live in a place like I do, where I have a condo that's essentially, it's 3 levels, and I've only got about 540 square feet on each level. So like my TV room, my office, laundry room, and a bathroom is in the basement. My main level's like living room, kitchen, dining room, and then upstairs I've just got 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So everything's on a different level around here, and it's really annoying having to go up and down stairs all the time. But if you've got any ideas of a good contingency plan, well, if you've got a contingency plan, throw it down in the comments section. I'd be interested to know. I did not have a contingency plan, but like I said, luckily in Fargo, I know a bunch of people. Like, I've got friends that DJ. I've got friends that are sound techs. We have a Facebook group called the Red River Valley DJ Group that has, a bigger network of DJs in it. So I really didn't think DJing would be that hard. If I needed to get rid of gigs, I feel like I could have just given them away, and there would have been other multi-op companies that would have been happy to take them from me. Luckily, I had people that could help me out, so I still made a little bit of money on them, because I do this full time. So if I give away all my gigs, I don't make any money. The sound tech end is a little different. I don't really know too many people that could go out and just help me sound tech anymore. We kind of have a shortage of sound techs in Fargo, so luckily Andy was willing to take it. He does sound tech work and he's in a band, but I don't think he actively seeks out sound tech work anymore, so luckily he was willing to take that for me. But yeah, first time really getting injured, and being like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? I've been sick before and still DJ'd pre-COVID. Obviously, COVID times, if I was feeling under the weather, I would obviously have to find a fill-in person now too. But pre-COVID, a person really didn't think about that. If you weren't feeling very good, you kind of kept your distance from people, but you still went out, and I still made sure the job was done. Obviously, times are a little different post-COVID, so you have to take that into consideration too. If you bump into somebody and you have to get tested, what do you do about your gig? Contingency plans are something definitely to have in place, and make sure you have a good network of people around you that'll help you out in case something happens to you. And also, if something happens to somebody else, help them out. I think that's a big thing too, is you have to realize that if you get hurt one day or if you get sick one day, you might have to look to your network of DJs for assistance. And it's going to be the same way. If somebody gets sick or hurt, be willing to go out and help them too. That's a big thing. Like, I know DJs in town, we've actually filled in at a lot of different bars where some of these old timers that do karaoke shows will just be like, I got hip surgery, I can't do it the next 4 months, sorry, and they'll dip out. They won't even try to find somebody. And, you know, anytime of our calls we fill in, we don't try to steal that gig. That's the other thing. You know, if a guy that's been doing a karaoke show for 10 years, you know, has to have hip replacement surgery, and he just dips out, which I think is not a good business strategy. But if he's just like, sorry, I can't do it, and doesn't even try to find anybody, you know, that's kind of shitty on his part. But if the bar contacts you and you fill in for 4 weeks, don't try to steal that gig from him. You know, if you got injured, would you want somebody to try to snake all your gigs? Like, oh, look at this guy, he can't do his gigs, we're going to snag him all. No, that's just poor business practices. So also keep that in mind too. You know, there needs to be a little bit of professionalism in our industry. And, you know, I've known a lot of people that were gig stealers in the day, and a lot of them wind up not in business because, especially in Fargo, it's not that big of a city. If you start to give yourself a bad name as somebody that will swoop in and try to steal somebody's gigs, you know, I understand business can be cutthroat, but also don't try to screw over your local network of DJs because, you know, you might need help from them one day. You should be nice and help them one day too. And there's plenty of gigs for everyone. I think that's a good thing to remember. So no gig stealing. But anyways, if you have any questions, throw it down in the comments section. I'm just going to throw out here. I will be doing some other videos. Probably can't see it in the screen, but I did try to, maybe you can see the box there. I did buy an RCF M20X. I really wanted to buy an Allen & Heath SC4, or SC48. SC, boy, what am I doing here? It's been so long since I've made a video, and even really thought, I feel like half my mind is gone too. Half my mind went with my boot. I don't know what it is. Not an SC48. Why am I drawing a blank? Let's talk about something else quick. Top shelf. I needed wireless microphones for a rental. That ended up canceling, by the way, but I needed to provide like 9 wireless mics. Assortment of lavaliers and handhelds. And I'm usually a Sennheiser guy. I ended up, the only thing in stock was Audio-Technica, and I got the Audio-Technica 3000 series. So far, you know, based on like the looks and feel of it, I kind of like them. Have not actually used them yet, though, so we'll see. Eventually, I'll do a review on what I think about them, if I think they're as good as like the Sennheisers. Same price point. I get a little bit better dealer cost on those, which is nice. I also even bought one of their little over-the-ear, not Countryman, but, you know, the Audio-Technica kind of style Countryman, little thin beige colored thing. But I bought the M20X because I wanted SQ5. Jesus. Talk about brain farts. Avid SC48. I didn't want to buy a big one of those, and I ended up buying an RCF instead. No, an Allen & Heath SQ5 was what I wanted, but obviously those are back ordered too. Now, if you look on Reverb.com, there's a guy right now selling an SQ5 road case, router, stage box, and a reel of Cat 5. And I swear he was asking like $4,300. And the day that I ordered that, I went on Reverb and I'm like, I'm pulling the trigger on this. Whole little setup. Essentially, I think my dealer cost maybe saving a little bit of money on it. He had bought it pre-COVID, and the gig he was using it for got canceled permanently. So he's like, I'm going to throw it up for sale. So I was like, you know what? I mean, realistically, because I needed it, I probably would have just paid his $4,300 asking price. But I had thought about putting an offer in for $4,000 just to see if I'd get it. But knowing I actually needed it, I would have just pulled the trigger at $4,300. But I went on there and it was gone, and I'm like, dang it. So then I got this because it was in stock, and it is nice. It's just not quite as full featured as an SQ5 would have been. But I've done a couple of gigs with it now, little gigs just. And I really only bought it for the things where I'm maybe having a couple wireless mics or using it as my DJ mixer, small corporate gigs. I'm going to use it tomorrow at a little corporate gig. You know, anything where I maybe just have a few handhelds or a few labs I'll probably use it at. Something where I won't want to bring out even my X32 compact. That case gets a little heavy. And my plan with this is I've got an SKB case on order, so I'm going to rack mount it. And then it's got 2 rack slots in the bottom. So I'm gonna mount 2 wireless mics in there and then a power conditioner. And that's going to kind of like be my little corporate go bag thing, or not go bag, but a little corporate rack for like a breakout room or something like that if my X32 is in the main room. So kind of my idea there. Plus I'll probably end up bringing that to all my wedding dances since I'll already have the wireless racked right in it. What else did I buy? Oh, the JBL Eon 1 Compact. I bought one of those for a little lightweight thing, so I'll be doing a review on that. I bought, like I said, the EV Evolve 30Ms. I bought 2 of those, and that was because Zach and Keisha brought their 30Ms to the wedding dance that they helped me with on that Monday. And it did a good job, and the condition I'm in, anything I do needs to be lightweight. So I think the 30Ms are going to be my go-to speaker for a little while, just because of the condition I'm in. As far as my mic packs go, I'm doing little 2-packs like this. I thought about doing like say 2 4-packs, but there gets to be some corporate stuff where, like that one rental that I had that never went through because their event turned from in-person to virtual. Something to keep in mind before a guy goes too crazy buying gear is that we might slowly slip back to virtual events, but they need like 3 mics in every room. Well, having a bunch of 4-packs doesn't really help that way. So I wired these up, and then I kept the antennas back here, antennas for each one. So I made these little 2-packs, power cord there, XLR out for each mic. This is the rear of it. So I'm putting together 3 2-packs like this with the new Audio Technicas that I got. And then the 4th one will be, comboed with the mixer. But I'll probably do a little review on these, a little bit more in depth of my new little rack mounted mic kits. I had thought I bought the short case. I had thought maybe this case was going to be big enough for me to shove a handheld in the back. It's not. You saw how tight it was back there.